What's your sign? Let's talk about it. Welcome everyone, Mark here. It's Joe time, and as always, before we get started, if you're not yet a subscriber to this channel, please subscribe by clicking my little face in the corner and ring that bell icon so you know when I post new videos. For weeks now, I have been asking you to send in pictures of signage that you have inside your vehicle, and I finally have a handful of them. I'm going to bring this week out. I'm going to bring the week to a close with a little more lighthearted program looking at signs. We've covered some heavy-duty stuff this week, so I thought let's go into the weekend on a fun note. Now, I'm not going to be giving credit or acknowledgement to all the people that sent these in. I'm going to say thank you right now, a broad thank you, because I simply don't know if those people want that acknowledgement or want me saying their names. However, I do thank you very much for helping me out with this project. And also, if you do want to take credit, go ahead and leave it down in the comment area. So we're going to start out right out of the gate with this picture here. Now you can see it just looks like a car, but you can also see in the window is a sign. So as we tighten up on that, what you'll notice, it's blurry, but it says Lyft Uber. I like it. It's simple, it's straightforward, but if you're approaching someone particularly at night, these signs are real helpful. Way back when I started, and this is going back 2.5 years, 3 years, whenever it was that I started driving, you may remember I made a video where I went to the dollar store, and with dollar store parts, I made a lit sign. It was just the U for Uber, but I used it a long time. It's stuck in the corner of my windshield, and a lot of people did comment on it. Oh, I'm glad you had that. It made it really easy for me to see that sign in the dark. Now, in addition to that, you have probably seen this. This is what I also use on the side of my car, and I do to this day. I know that the logo is now dated. You know, of course, that is just the app logo, but this logo is now kind of dated. But it still has that word Uber against white, so it's not that bad. But I really like using this as well, simply because when I pull up, people know it's the Uber vehicle. Now, I still encourage people, as always, to, you know, look at the license plate, look at me, all of that. But it's nice to be able to spot that in a crowd of cars, and I like using it. I've had people comment on that as well. Oh, I'm glad you had the sign. People are looking outside their door of their house. They see a lot of cars drive by. Suddenly there's one with a big white sign in the door that says Uber, and it makes it really evident to them that, hey, this is my Uber car. Now, if I have to, I can check all the little details that are in the app. So this is all signage that's on the outside of your vehicle. Now let's move to the inside and see what else we have. Well, this next one, I suppose, is on the outside as well. It's kind of a extension of that lit sign that we saw. And actually, it looks like this one might be a lighted sign as well. Once again, it says Uber and Lyft. And you can get these online. As a matter of fact, I am currently tracking down a source that I might be able to get these really cheap. And if I can, I'll try to make them available to you. So this is our outdoor signage. It's things that people can see when they're outside of the vehicle. I think it's helpful. Now, this next one, I really like this. This came from a viewer in Canada, I believe. And it says, feedback appreciated. Bing, 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 bing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. It is clean. It's to the point. It lets the rider know what's expected. And this, I did write to the person who sent me this, and I didn't hear back, but it looks like it's a decal that applies right to the back of your headrest. Now, I know a lot of you might say, I don't know that I want that kind of commitment. It's my personal car. I don't know if I want a forever decal on the back. I suspect these can be removed. I'm not sure exactly how that's put on there, but it's it looks so professional and so clean that, you know, it's hard to look at this and you're sitting in the back seat of the car as a rider and not think, this is a professional. And the same thing with the other side. This is the same rider. Rate me, please. Now, I guess what I would say is a drawback to this, if there is one, and this is just all, I don't mean to be critical, this is all my opinion. It's focusing on only one thing, and that is getting a rating, getting stars, which seems to be now focusing on me rather than focusing on them. And I made the same mistake, and I'll show you mine. All right, so this is mine. I do like it. Now, I made several of these. This one, as you can see, doesn't have any holes. I never hung this particular one up. But what it says is, I mark, if you need anything, please ask. So there it does say who I am and has my picture. So I do like that it's a good introduction. And it starts out from their perspective. What's in it for me? And I'm speaking from the rider's perspective. So that's why I put that in there. If I do a good job, please give me a 5-star rating. So there's a stipulation on there. This next one I'm not real pleased with, but I'm going to talk about this after I see a few others that address tipping. Uber does not include gratuity in the fare. That is a good one. Tips are never required. That one we'll talk about. Uber does not include gratuity in the fare. I think it's really important that people realize that. If you're going to ask for a tip, if you're going to ask for stars, you should explain a little bit about what tipping and stars are all about. Uber does not include gratuity in the fare. For so many years, people thought that the fare does include tipping, so I wanted to make sure that they knew that. Tips are never required, but always appreciated. Thank you for riding with me. People like to be appreciated, so I ended that with a thank you. So that's what I hang on the back of my headrest. I snip 2 holes in it with a hole puncher, and I take those rings that open and close that you can get at Office Depot, Office Max, those types of stores. And I just open that up, put it through the hole, and clip it along the 2 or around the 2 bars from the headrest. Pretty straightforward, but it addresses a lot of things. It addresses a rider. It tells them the expectation. It tells them why I expect that, and asks for 2 things, 2 primary things, the tip and the star. A lot of you don't like to be that blatant, that straightforward to ask for a tip. I don't see a problem with it. I think we've been talking this channel for a long, long time about expectations and setting expectations. When you say, hey, I appreciate your tip, what that's telling them is tip me without being so vulgar and crass. All right, this next one. Now, this is becoming more of the eBay, Amazon store-bought. A lot of information here. Please let me know if you need anything. Very similar to what I said here. If you need anything, please ask. Then it says a charger is available. I think that's great. People get in the back seat of your car and they know right away there are some extra benefits. Hey, can I charge my phone? Yeah. Do you have an iPhone? Yeah. What do you have? And I can just put my cable back there to them. And put on your seatbelt. Ask nicely, seatbelt please. Please take all your belongings with you before leaving. So I like that. If you enjoy my service, give me 5 stars. Tips are appreciated. And thank you. Have a great day. I like all the messages. The one thing that I would really like to see is personalization. One of the things that I like and I continue to use with this, it personalizes it. It says who I am and has my picture. And people like people. I know that sounds simplistic, but people like people. They like to know who you are. They like to know who they're riding with. And they like to make that personal connection. Even if they're just going to put their earbuds in and not really pay attention, they still made that personal connection with that sign that's sitting in front of you. And that resonates with people, even if it's on a unconscious level. Now, this next one is another one of the store-bought signs. It says much the same thing. Don't forget to rate, 5 stars, thank you, tips are appreciated, no smoking, charger available, and wear your seatbelts. I'm not going to repeat the comments. They're going to be largely the same. I'm going to say what we're coming up to now are my favorites out of the whole batch. This is so personal. It has humor. It has personality. And the things I'm going to change in mine are going to include some of these components, and I'm going to talk about the tipping. First, when you look at this, there's a sign and there is a cute little cuddly animal. Wait, it gets better. Here you see this face of the bear, And underneath the bear is a lot of information. But people are sitting in the back of your car. They have time. They have a minute to read this. Let's see what it says. Welcome to Uber. Very inviting. Smile, you're being recorded while in this vehicle. Questions or concerns? Just ask. I love that. It's announcing and making people aware you're on camera, watch your behavior. But it's doing it in such a friendly, unassuming way, and it's inviting questions. Hey, if you want to know why, go ahead and ask me. I just think that that is so friendly, it's so engaging, and yet it's sending out the message. Then it gives 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points that are great points. Do you have your ID? Now, it turns out that this driver drives in a area that tends to be touristy in the summer. And so more often than not, they're going to bars and clubs. So I think this is great. Do you have your ID? And this could also work on another level. If you're concerned that somebody is underage, right there, as I've said in previous videos, the written word carries more authority than just your spoken word. Spoken word, people think you're pulling that out of the air. The written word, now it looks like it's policy. So I like this on 2 levels. Do you have your ID? Drinks are permitted, but please don't spill. Now, I would probably, I don't know, I don't like alcoholic drinks in my car. They're illegal to have open intoxicants, at least where I live and drive. So that one I might take out, or at least put a stipulation on it. Please take your trash with you. Plastic bags are in the door pockets. Oh my goodness. Isn't that great? You're not only telling them, clean up after yourselves, but you're giving them the capability to do it. I remember one of the crazy things that came out in the news. Of course, it comes from New York. The 2 areas now where the craziness always stems from is New York City and California, right? And they were saying that it's getting too costly to keep the trash cans in the subways. So in order to encourage people to take their trash with them, they're going to remove the trash cans from the subways. I don't know. I haven't been in a New York subway in a while. But what I'm thinking is, if I don't find a trash can, I'm not saying me, I'm just thinking the mindset of a person. If I'm not seeing a trash can, screw it, I'm dropping it on the ground. And I suspect that's not making an area cleaner by not giving them access to trash receptacles. Anyway, the reason I'm saying that is, please take your trash with you. Plastic bags are in the door pockets. Brilliant. Give them what they need in order to keep clean and take their trash with them. If you're going to spew, please let me know. Okay, kind of cute, right? It's not saying if you feel like you are getting nauseous, if you're going to spew. I just think that is, now it might be a little crass for some areas. It wouldn't be my style, but knowing the population this driver serves, I love it. And the bucket of shame is available for those who need it. So if you feel you're going to get sick, hey, I can accommodate you. Once again, it's saying it with so much humor that I just love it. Absolutely love it. This is my personal vehicle, so please be respectful and enjoy your time. Tips are very much appreciated. And then it gives a Facebook. What I want to say about this one, just so many things. The Facebook, I blurted out here, but what it allows people to do is post their own pictures of their ride or their evenings on this Facebook page. So engaging. Do you see what this driver did? They took something that could be cold and they turned it into something personal. And I love it. Now, here's what I like about this one that's better than mine and better than a lot of them. What mine says is, tips are never required, but are always appreciated. This says, tips are very much appreciated. Why am I going to emphasize tips are not required? When I say people know tips are not required. When I say tips are appreciated, that's all we need to say, and that's what's coming off my signage. Tips are always appreciated. I am not going to set the negative in their mind. No. I'm going to set the positive into their mind. Go ahead and tip me. I appreciate it. So, those are just some of the signs I got. And I want to thank you all because I think we can learn something from all of those. And I hope you can see the benefit of having those signs. Not only are they engaging, are they informative, are they humorous, and are they a little calculating to remind people, hey, tip me, clean up after yourself, put your seatbelts on. It does all of those things. So, it works on so many levels with being pleasant, being engaging, giving them information, giving them instruction. And I just really like the signage. I hope it gives you some ideas on how you might use your car. Oh, one thing, I didn't put in here. This cuddly, cozy, cute little bear, when you touch his mouth, look what happens. It turns into a mean ugly. And it's so cute and so much fun when people do this. And that other animal does the same thing. And the reason that I wanted to point that out is notice a sign right below it says, smile, you are being recorded. And this driver told me that many people think the camera is inside the bear. But it's just so many fun things. And it's engaging. And when you get these people that might be in a little sour mood, might even be a little drunk, it preoccupies them. And I think it reduces the arguments, the contentious situations that sometimes exist. And I had a discussion with this driver, and she confirmed it. Yeah, that is true. Now, the other thing that I just want to throw, this isn't a sign, but the same driver has this notebook in their car. And you notice that there's an emphasis on the 5 stars. It was already on the notebook, so she took advantage of that, pointing arrows to the 5 stars. But this is a notebook where people can just write messages. How fun is that? Especially if you're in an area where you're going to the beach, you're going to the clubs, you're going to the bars. And it's almost like it preoccupies them in the car. It's almost like they're writing graffiti, but they're doing it in a controlled fashion. They're doing it in this little notebook, and it's keeping them preoccupied, and people read it and they laugh, and it opens conversation, and brilliant. And when you see our video tomorrow, our live stream, you're going to see how I took this idea and I ran with it. I took a little different approach to it that I think you're going to like. So as always, if you want to share more signs, or if you just want to write down below what your opinion is, agree or disagree, that's what this forum is about. As always, I encourage you to like and share, leave your comments down below, subscribe and ring the bell icon, and also stop in tomorrow. Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about that nasty email. We're going to talk about the new sticker, which relates directly to this internal signage. I think you're really going to like it. We're going to talk about my book. There are just so many cool things. So I hope I see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I'm Mark with UberHints.